Hey guys, welcome back to Bending Barbell episode 4. My name is SJ.
My name's Mitchell.
And it's your boy Alex.
We got a special guest, is Alex Yee. Follow him on Instagram at
Mr. Yee with 2 eyes.
and what's your fitness one?
At Mentalit_Yee.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we'll provide both of them
Oh,
down on the description. So
Oh,
make
man.
sure to check him out. Strong guy right here. Yeah,
Nope,
look at this.
not
Look
at
at
all.
this.
This is all fat. All fat.
All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about powerlifting versus bodybuilding in a short, condensed version of it on your experience.
Okay, well, my experience, I've done both. Powerlifting, in my opinion, powerlifting is way more fun and more challenging than bodybuilding. Because powerlifting, you're doing 3 main compound movements and you're pushing yourself harder to get all those heavy weights up. As for bodybuilding, it's kind of more of a repetition thing and you're constantly going through the same routine over and over. And in my opinion, like I got so bored of bodybuilding that I just kind of, it just wasn't fun anymore. And it wasn't like I chose to do bodybuilding. It was just because I had injuries from powerlifting that made me transition over to bodybuilding because I have low back problems.
Okay.
And squat and deadlifts were the hardest on that certain point in my body that I had to transition. And bodybuilding to me is, I don't know, the mentality in bodybuilding and powerlifting is just so different. Like powerlifting is very open-minded,
Right.
and everybody is supporting each other. Like if you go to a gym and someone's gonna PR that day, you see people gathering around and cheering them on, like telling them, "Hey, lift, get it up, get it up, get it up." And then you see people at bodybuilding in gyms, and they're just kind of like,
It's like
they're kind of on their own. Like they'll wear like a hoodie to hide their face.
That's true.
It's like they're
Like-
in their own little world.
Mhm.
And if you try to go and be like, "Hey, buddy, like you want help or anything," and they're just like, "No." Yeah, they're saying shit like that. Like they're so they're just so close-minded. And I mean, I'm not saying that I've never done that because
Right.
my freshman and sophomore year, definitely my mentality was like that, and their mentality is also like I have to be the best out of everybody. And you see that around, and it's common. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's like both of them have the same competitiveness, but it's the difference is the being open and being closed-minded on that thing. Like kind of like what you said. Powerlifters are definitely open-minded, and I've experienced that myself. They're very helpful, especially even on the meet day. They're all, "Hey, do you need help? Do you want me to spot you? Do you want me to set the weights up so you don't use your energy?"
Yeah.
They're very good on that. And I mean, I have never been to a bodybuilding show, so I don't know how that one is. But I can also tell that they're more competitive because they're there for themselves,
Yeah.
and they obviously want to be the first place.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I've been to both, so I mean, the atmosphere is very different. Like I said, powerlifters are very supportive, and you go to meet, everybody's just, I mean, it looks like they're yelling at you, but they're cheering you
cheering
on
you,
to
right.
get you, to pull either your PR or the weight that you put down.
Get you all pumped up.
I mean, as for like bodybuilders, like I've seen the inside and out, and like, I mean, the process is so difficult. Their diet and everything, and
Yeah.
when you get up there, they have to stand out of the group of people that they're with. So it's just like they have to be that alpha. And for me, I mean, like both experiences cool, and they're humble in their own ways. But just from my opinion, like I lean towards more powerlifting because they're so lax and laid back.
Yeah.
As for like bodybuilders, they just have this ego, and I'm not saying that all bodybuilders are, but it just has that like ego building.
It's different.
With
Yeah,
the
it's-
competition, because like the competition's like, oh, you won first, second, third place,
Yeah.
and then powerlifting, there is the placement, but there's also you're fighting to beat your personal record from before,
Yeah.
and it's just the mentality is just a lot different.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of like what I said on previous episodes. It's like powerlifting. You're also competing with others at this on the weight class, but also you're mainly primarily competing against your own numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you go out there with your own numbers, not like you find someone else's number and saying, hey, I'm gonna hit that, but I'm gonna hit it by like 5 more pounds just so I can be on the top.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know their numbers until that actual meet day, and it changes. You know, it changes from the energy, and it's always usually. You usually do better. You perform. I mean, I guess it depends on person to person. Because I've also heard that anxiety can get you, and then it's kind of sets you back.
Mhm.
But for me, I'm complete opposite. Like it gets me hyped,
Yeah.
and I was able to pull, especially on my squat. I was able to pull like a pretty good PR on my meet. But I mean, it's a really long day. But
Yeah, it is.
definitely my deadlift was not as good as I wanted to be, but I mean, if it wasn't for the support and the cheering that was going on, even at the the latest lifts, you know, I don't think I would have been able to even pull that weight, you know,
Yeah.
on my very last lift, because I was so fatigued. I was like, yo, I'm dead. Like, I need a shot of like, I don't know, like some kind of caffeine up in me, straight through my veins, because I was dying.
I mean, also like, you not only do you get hyped up from them, like people get hyped up from you.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
is true,
crazy.
yeah.
Like,
It's the vibe. It just rubs off, you know. Like there's so many people. It's like random people that come up to you and be like, "Yo, dude, that was good." You know, like even people that were spotting me
too, right?
well, I would have been like, "Whoa, you gotta take me out on a date first."
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
no, but it was funny because even the guy that was helping spotting me, you know, he was like very encouraging. He was like, "Oh, this is a really good weight to start with," and he was like telling me, you know, softly in my ear. I mean, because he was like right on top of me, and he was telling me.
He was like, "Hey, it's a good weight."
Yeah, I mean, it was like a whisper distance, so I guess we were on the base one. I guess I mean, you know, but he was like, "Oh, this is a really good way to pull first. You know, that was a really smart choice." He was
Yeah.
telling me all this stuff to encourage me, and then towards the end, he was like, "That was a good lift." You know, it was like when he was helping me rack up, he was like, "That was a really good lift." I was like, "Thanks, dude." Like it was like really encouraging, and it was really fun. I mean, the
Not
experience
gonna
is
lie.
so fun.
When I went there, I was like, I'm ready to take a scoop, and I'm just ready to go in there. Like, every time I
It's like,
go
sign
there,
me up, coach.
it's so fun. It's just like I like the side events that they have too.
Yeah.
Like deadlifting like 225.
Oh
like,
yeah,
how many
that,
times.
yeah.
And it's just cool to see like all the vendors there too as well.
Right.
Bodybuilding competition also had vendors, but it was just kind of more of like, hey, this is supplements
Oh, okay.
kind of
So
thing,
like more
rather than
products. Mm-hmm.
like more like supplement products compared to like powerlifting, which is like, hey, these are some nutritional stuff, like, and it's cool because they're all informational, but
Yeah,
I just think that they're just two different realms, and
they are.
I've been to both, and it's just kind of hard. But I really like powerlifting, and I know you guys are
Oh man, I love
powerlifters.
powerlifting. The only thing I like is I love powerlifting. If I was to do a workout for the rest of my life, that would be definitely powerlifting workouts. But I also do like bodybuilding workouts. I think it's good to supplement that for your powerlifting.
It is because I've noticed since I work at a PT clinic, I've seen athletes, like old athletes, but I noticed some of them are powerlifters.
Right.
But when it comes to bodybuilding movements, they're weaker in that aspect because you're so focused
right,
on those
on
big
the main,
muscles.
yeah, the main
that
muscle,
you're not
exactly.
working your accessories.
Exactly,
And it's
yeah.
the opposite, vice versa. Like
Mhm.
bodybuilders, if you're like, hey, I want you to try to deadlift this weight, they're not as
not gonna be
strong
able to.
because they're looking for. Bodybuilding is for size, and then
Mhm.
powerlifting is for strength.
Strength, right.
But if you do both, a little bit of accessories after your big compounds, you guys are going to still maintain that muscle
Right,
mass
yeah.
and strength. And that's the biggest, I think, one of the biggest problems because they're all like, oh yeah, I can do both. But
Yeah.
when they actually do it, you'll see like powerlifters doing like 10 pounds instead of like what they say
Right,
they can.
yeah.
And bodybuilders will be like, oh, I can do this weight, but like they really can't. So
Yeah.
it's just like you have to balance out the two because if you're not really working out your accessories, then also it just kind of affects your posture and all the things.
That's true. Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I like to do both at the same time. I'll do the big compounds in the beginning because it takes up most of the time, but
Right.
then accessories, you can just
It's pretty fast.
You
yeah.
can go through it fast, and definitely if you're consistent with it, then your body's gonna build more muscle and be comfortable with it.
Right.
Also, with the accessories, you can isolate different muscles that are weaker for your compounds,
Exactly.
and then they'll
Yeah.
in turn increase your numbers for your compound lifts.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, kind of like because me and Mitchell work together. I mean, work. Yeah, Mitchell works with me. No, he works out with me, and I always ask him. I used to ask him like, "Hey, dude, I'm like for example for deadlift, I'm really bad at the first half of the pull. Like I have struggled trying to get it up because the locking part I'm pretty good at that. As soon as I hit this halfway mark, I can lock out pretty easy. But and Mitchell had a good point. It's like maybe you should do like the pause, like pause and stuff. And then for the other half, like if you have struggle locking out, rack pulls,
Yeah.
him and I would do like rack pulls like no other. And those are, just doing those workouts, it does help, I mean, there are other workouts too, but primarily, just working on the accessory muscle, I think it helps for the best of the both worlds. Even if you're not competing for bodybuilding,
Yeah.
that's a whole new dedication that you actually have to put aside and like really focus on diet. I
Yeah.
feel like that's very important for
It
bodybuilders.
is. Also with like doing other exercises, when it comes to like deadlift and squats, I see through my clinic is that everybody's so quad dependent on like squats. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I just have to get bigger, stronger quads. But in reality, you also need to increase strength in your hamstrings and your glutes because
Booty.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're coming down, you got to control coming down using your
Right.
hamstrings, and you explode coming up with your quads.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with deadlifts. Like you're using majority of your quads and your back rather than
Right.
when you're coming down. To put down the weight is supposed to be your glute and your hamstrings, and people neglect it because they just drop the weight.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of my patients do those slow decrease, eccentric,
Yeah.
and putting down the weight. That's why it helps a lot, and I think that's one reason why I was able to put up more numbers for my deadlifts.
That's
Is
true.
because you have to get the hamstrings and your glutes too as well. And
I
a
agree.
great exercise for that is hip thrusters.
Ooh. I actually never do hip thrusters at all. Do you think that works well?
Yeah, it does, because if you do hip thrusters, you're isolating your hamstrings and your glute.
Okay.
If you do single leg, you're gonna isolate each side, but when you do it, you're basically, as you're thrusting into the hip thruster, you're squeezing your glute, and then
Right.
your hamstrings are also doing the controlling down.
I don't every time I see hip thruster, it's like I see like a bunch of girls doing it. I'm like, must be like a booty workout or something. I mean, it's kind of like what
It
you
is
said.
a booty workout.
Yeah, it is. It's like, but then I check out my booty. I'm like, dude, my booty's pretty fat. Like, I don't think I need to work out.
I mean, okay, well, not all of us got booty, man. We got that
It's like-
ABS.
It's
the
like
Asian
when
booty syndrome.
I wear jeans, like struggling going through my booty area. I'm like,
Fashion Nova.
personally tailored. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Can you make it a little bit big on the booty side? This is like sort of fits my booty, but yeah, I mean, I actually never do hip thrusters. It's crazy. Do you do hip thrusters?
I don't do hip thrusters.
No.
Before I start squatting, I start warming up my glutes. So then when I start squatting, then I can actually use my glutes more.
So
and
like
activate it more.
So what workout do you do for that?
I just use a band around my knees, and then I just like do sidewalks.
Oh,
Yeah,
like a crab walk.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
That'll
guess
help
that
like
works.
make me warm up my glutes, and then so
Mhm.
when I start squatting, I can activate them
Right.
more easily.
Yeah. And that also is one big tip is stretch before and after your workout.
Man, I'm really bad at stretching after. I'll stretch and warm up in the beginning, and then I'm really bad at I don't know if I forget or I just like fuck it, I'm done. And I just walk out of the gym.
Yeah.
But I really need to get better at stretching after, because I think that is the key too for preventing injuries and soreness and.
Yeah, and you feel better in the morning. I mean, you definitely get sore, but like it's not gonna be as bad.
As bad,
And,
right,
You know, if you stretch the night and the morning of, then like your body's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like
that's
I've
true.
noticed like in the past week of just stretching, like I can feel like my body's like, oh, I'm more open to doing this, and I'm
Mhm.
more confident doing it, because stretching also kind of helps basically improve your lifting as well.
Okay.
A lot. And we have a lot of at the clinic too, like having them stretch and then doing their exercises,
Mhm.
they feel more activation in their muscles and whatnot. So I think it's a really big tip. Everybody's different. guys tend to not stretch because you
Yeah.
know they're just like, I'm done, you know, I'm out.
It's like, oh, I feel good. I'm like, ugh. Peace.
Yeah, they're just out, you know, like after they do the lift, I'm,
That's
like,
true.
I'm gonna do a cool down on the bike, and then I'm out of here. Gotta drink my protein shake, all that. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you can do that, but like in the long run, it's gonna be better for your body if
Right.
you do stretching.
So speaking of like just supplement, like because you kind of mentioned protein shake. So what kind of diet are you doing right now for your just personal self, I guess?
I'm doing an anabolic diet, which is kind of like it's kind of half and half. You're doing like a keto type diet in the weekdays, and then
Okay.
in the weekends, I'm carbo loading. Just because I actually was taught by this by one of my patients who's a bodybuilder,
Oh,
and he's been doing it for a long time, and he was telling me like, hey, if you've done ketogenic, like try doing this anabolic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. In the 5 days, I just eat more protein and fats. No carbs at all. So like, you know, like I have to prep like chicken breasts with like avocado and like use olive oil instead of vegetable oil. You know, I have to be I have to be really critical about what I use.
Right.
And then on the weekends, you know, it's supposed to be more carbs than
Mhm.
proteins and fats. So
Right.
like I'll eat like rice, you know, bread and things like that. Like so it's just such a hard thing because your body's so weak in the weekdays
Yeah.
that you
Mhm.
push harder, and then on the weekends you kind of basically re-up on your energy.
Mm-hmm. So on those days when you're actually increasing or eating carbs, do you do a different workout or do you still do the same workout? Like, do you do like a higher volume, like cardio workout or?
So I do more like hit training and
Okay.
just like accessories, just because like I don't want to use all that energy from the carbs
Right.
in that exercise. And then on the weekdays is where I push myself a little harder, just because in that 5 days where it's the ketogenic
Mhm.
diet, your body's using fats as a source of
Right.
energy
Yeah,
instead of
instead of
carbs.
carbs, right.
So you get tired out pretty fast,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because also like doing heavy compound movements, and you know I do like bench, squat, deadlifts twice in 1 week, and it's just like it's hard when you don't have carbs.
Oh yeah.
That's why I burn more from it, and it is very difficult, but you also see a lot of difference in like results too. Like when you go through this ketogenic stage, the worst part about it is like you get flu-like symptoms, like you get stomach ache, headache.
Did you actually get that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I like threw up or anything. It's just that I had my headaches, you know, felt nauseous, fever,
Interesting.
hot and cold, you know, those things, and then your body starts getting used to it, and then that's
That's
hey,
when
like,
you
when
switch
let's-
back.
yeah.
Pretty quick. Okay. So is it hard to eat carbs? I mean, like I feel like if I were to not eat carbs for 5 days and then eat carbs on the weekend, do you see any setback on that?
I mean, it's more of a mental thing. Like in the weekdays, I'm like, yeah, I can not eat carbs, but then like you see carbs in front of you, you're super hesitant. Like today, I had a box of Krispy Kremes, and it's a Saturday, and I was like, I can have one, and I was so
Oh
hesitant
yeah,
on
it's
it
Saturday today.
because like I was like, I've been on this diet, you know, ketogenic cycle diet
Mhm.
for the weekdays, and I'm like, am I, you know, and I'm scared that it's just not gonna transition well.
Right.
So then that's
Okay.
why I was hesitant on it, but you know, it is good to like fill up, just because like I mean I'm gonna do heavy weight, so it's
Right,
best to
that's
do
true.
that. It is difficult though. The biggest difficult thing is the cravings.
Oh man.
I have I have sugar cravings, I have carb cravings, and like the way for me to get rid of it is like either I'll have to eat like a meal, or drink water, or like chew on something.
Mm.
Like I have
Give
to.
my kimchi with rice.
What
What are your
today though?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that kind of diet? Would you ever be willing to do that?
I don't think I would be too willing to do it because
He loves his rice.
I'm more focused on I love my rice, and I'm more focused on just trying to build strength every day
Right.
and every week.
So you actually want that source of
Yeah.
energy coming in at
Yeah.
all times.
I think I am on a diet, but it's just like slowly decreasing the amount of carbs. So then I'll slowly lose weight, and then
Right.
once it comes to competition time, then I'll maybe, yeah.
Give me my box of donuts. Yo, it's crazy because we actually just did a Wonder at Max about 4 weeks ago.
3 weeks.
Yeah, and we were thinking about bringing donuts in, but we totally forgot.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's super sad. But
I mean, the diet is pretty hard, but I've done like the full ketogenic, just all day long, 7 days a week. I think
it's
I
hard.
believe a year and a half ago or last year, and I seen a huge improvement. Like once your body gets used to it, like when your body's in that cycle constantly, I've seen an increase in weight, like in your lifts. In my lifts.
Okay, not like your body's like
no.
Increase of weight, like
no.
the body.
It's I mean, I recommend the diet, but at the same time, you have to be very mindful about how you go about it because I lost like 30 to 40 pounds within like a month and a half or 2 months.
That's crazy.
It's really fast, and it's just like you have to be mindful of how you approach it because a lot of people are like, oh, this is for like a short-term thing.
Yeah,
but also they have negativities to it because you're just eating proteins and fats.
Right. Yeah.
And it's gonna take a toll on your liver and kidneys.
That too, and because I did keto for like 2 weeks for during my meet, and it did help me get my number. You know, I lost like 16 pounds in 2 weeks. It was good, but it's hard, dude. It's so hard to like choose what you can eat and can't eat, and I mean for me, I was like, man, I just need to get my fats and protein up. So all I would eat is like fatty food, and I don't even know if it's good fatty food or what, but also I would also make sure to portion it because I mean it's competition. You know, I paid so much money for that. Like I'm not gonna F it up. So yeah, I mean it's not for everybody. That's for sure. I mean in 2 weeks I was like, yo, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give my rice back.
Thing about dieting and lifting is that like you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like once you get in the flow of your diet, then you just have to be more consistent on lifting weights.
Right.
Everybody has this misconception about I have to switch up my diet to lose weight, but it's like you gotta do two parts.
You gotta have both workout and
you gotta do workouts and the diet, and
right.
or like everybody thinks that like just working out is gonna lose weight and taking supplements.
I used to be like that. I used to be like, yeah, I work out to eat. So I eat like whatever I want, but I would have it put in a pretty good workout, but I never saw results. It's because of that. Right?
And also like people do like, you know how people don't eat as much.
Yeah.
I actually had a podcast. I listened to a podcast the other week, and they're talking about how when you eat less, like you know, you skip a meal, or you're like, I'm gonna skip this meal so I can like lose weight.
Right.
People do that all the time. Is that once your body goes through this starvation cycle, then they'll start using the fat cells as energy source. So it's kind of like a keto thing too.
Yeah.
But once you start eating it, the body's like, oh, I've been starving all day long.
Gotta
so
save
I'm gonna
it all.
Store it. So that's why people gain weight from doing that kind of style. So the person on the podcast, he has a PhD in nutrition, so he was talking about you have to be consistent. Like if you're gonna do IF and you lose weight, you know, your body's gonna get used to it, so you gotta be consistent on it to keep off that weight. Otherwise, when you get off of it and you start eating again like you normally did, it's gonna come back.
Have a little setback, right?
And that's the biggest problem with everyone is that they're never consistent.
Right, that's true. That was my primary issue too. I used to think like, oh, if I eat less and then work out and then like I'll lose all this weight, but then after like a month later, I would start eating like my regular, portions, and I would gain it all back. But so that's why right now, so like my goal, my personal goal is I've been using MyFitnessPal to keep track of my macros and calories. I try to hit it as it was goal, like at the target. I try to hit it pretty close as I can because I don't want to like lack or like go more, because that way I'm doing what you're saying, like making that consistency and also working out and losing it appropriately, where I lose it slowly, and then if I were to gain it, I'll gain it slowly too,
I think it's hard for us to like talk about which diet is the best because everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
Like you see ads online, but like, you think eating or doing this exercise is gonna make you lose weight? Here's a tip for you. And then they'll talk about all the things that you should do. And then there's other guys who are like, you can eat all you want and lose weight.
Right.
And it's just like
completely different.
I'm
things,
like, what is going on?
Yeah,
so I've been doing researches, and I would rather talk to a like professional like this dude on the podcast. I forgot what it's called. He's got his degree because he even said on the podcast, he's like, I'm tired of listening to all these ads
Yeah,
and people
that's
telling
true.
me these lies because they're telling me one thing and it's not
Right.
happening. So he's like, I'm gonna go back to school, get a PhD. And for all those junk food eaters, there is a possibility of losing weight because he did actually talk about it. He talked about how this man, I forgot where he's from, ate junk food for all his life.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he fit his calories
Yeah.
and is consistent
Exactly.
with it,
Mhm.
he lost
He lost
20
weight.
pounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, so everybody can eat McDonald's, chicken nuggets, and all that and lose weight. So,
Oops.
so all those, okay, technical difficulties. So for everybody who likes to eat junk food and whatnot, like, it's not a bad thing,
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
There even like I think there was an article a couple years ago that a man was eating like Big Macs for like a full year and he lost weight.
Yeah. I mean, even like fast food. I mean, I would consider Chipotle fast food, right? This guy ate Chipotle for years.
A year, yeah.
And he lost so much weight. But I mean, also he made the right choices. He didn't go like, oh, can I get like extra cheese, extra guac, extra like sour cream? I think he did have a healthier choice, but still, Chipotle is still considered fast food, you know. And he lost weight eating out.
Yeah, and just being in like the full year is also like.
Yeah,
just
I
the
think
consistency.
I think everyone's different. You just gotta watch and fit your macros and your calories for the day. Like, try not to limit it, try not to exceed it.
Yeah, and also like I have a disability too. I have Tourette syndrome, and when I was on the ketogenic diet, it also actually benefited me, and it made me twitch less.
Was it better? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
actually, and I was like, wow, this is weird. Like I
Alexi has found the cure.
sponsor me. No, but the diet actually does change your body a lot too.
Yeah.
So if like there's a lot of people like with different diets help
Mhm.
with people with different problems, and
That's
mine
crazy.
was keto, and mine
That's
was
awesome.
like I didn't twitch as much, and like during lifts I can tell like whoa, like I'm not twitching, like that's so cool.
Like, yeah. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you found that one.
Yeah.
One thing that suits you. And how long you been doing it for? Like this anaerobic. Whatever.
Oh, I've been doing it for about 2.5 weeks. I just started because my.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah. I mean, I started my cut on March 6th,
Mm,
so it's been about a week and a half or so.
that's cool. I
But-
mean,
I transitioned into it because
from keto, right?
yeah, or low carb because
carb.
I didn't want to just dive into it.
Yeah,
like,
that's
my
true.
body's gonna be like, whoa, hold on. Like every time I start a new diet, I'll transition into it because
Yeah.
my body doesn't. You have to know your own body for
Exactly.
to do the diet. And mine was like, if I do it, I'd be like, just be like twitching all over the place. 'Cause
I think a general tip for anyone starting like a new diet is that they have to keep an open mind of like what they're doing, and not everything is going to work out for them like for someone else.
Mhm.
So then if they see like after like a month or so and nothing's really changing, then I think
switch
that
it
they
up.
should switch it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because everyone's body's different and they react differently to different things too.
And
Yeah.
it's the worst when they're like, "Hey, what diet would you recommend?"
I
I'm
know,
like,
it's like,
"Well,
um,
for me, that's always start. For me,
Yeah,
this is what works for
Yeah,
me. But
because-
you can try it, but
Yeah.
like it's not for everybody.
Yeah. that is true.
Exactly.
Same with like supplements or whatnot. They're like, "Oh, what was the best protein shake?" And I'm like, I mean, they're all the same to me, but
It's,
you know,
yeah. See, I feel like it would be different if someone asked me, "Oh, what kind of workout should I do?" For this, and it's like,
That's
"Oh,
also, that's also
that
a big
for-
one too.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like it's but
They're like,
because some people have hard time gaining weight. It's
yeah,
crazy.
and I'm like, you're so lucky.
I know, it's like, man, you're
You
blessed.
guys have the
Take
best-
advantage. Here, eat a box of donut, all of it.
And they're like, yeah, I would eat like 3,000 calories and I'm still not gaining weight. And I'm just like,
I eat like 1,000. I gain like 5 pounds in like 2
this
minutes.
dude was like, I remember this guy was like, oh, I ate McDonald's for a week and I couldn't gain weight. I'm like, I ate McDonald's for 2 days and I gained 5 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's even workouts, like even if people ask what works for you, like
Mhm.
what works for them, and like give them a tip, it's just like, it's so hard because our body's so complex.
Yeah, it's different.
Like if I gave you this bicep workout and you increased your biceps muscle mass and it didn't for you, then
Yeah.
it's completely different,
Oh,
Yeah.
Just kidding. So, anyways, probably time to wrap it up. But if you have one advice for fitness or You know, just being successful on someone's fitness goal. What's that one advice? Don't say consistency.
I'm not
Because that's everyone's
I mean,
advice.
that is one, but also like set a goal for yourself.
Okay,
For
that's
me,
true.
when I started fitness, I wanted to. It's like the small things. Like I used to wear 34 for pants,
Oh,
and I hated that. You
you
know.
fatty. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was fat. And I was like, I want to cut down. I want to go down to a smaller size. I like the small things. Just
Okay.
set small
Yeah.
goals, and I mean, the obstacles will come in front of you, but you just have to overcome them. Like,
Right.
like cravings or like someone telling you you're doing something wrong. Just be confident in yourself in the process. It's hard to find that because people have, just like body image is such a big thing in this world
Right.
now, and like
Especially with
everybody,
social media and
yeah,
everything.
and everybody's so insecure about it. It's just like, don't listen to what other people say about you. Just think about yourself, and it's for yourself. Like set those goals, small goals. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have
Right.
to be like I'm gonna lose like 34 pounds, something like that. It has
That's
to be
huge.
small. Like
Yeah, that's for sure.
small. Like I'm
Small
gonna
baby
start
steps.
decreasing. Like snacks at night, or like I'm gonna go down from a size 30 to a 29,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And those things, like when I set those goals, was really good for me because when I did the 34, I went to 32 because I was like, I want to go to 32 because
Okay.
that's what I used to wear.
Right.
And then from that point on, I was like, oh, it's accomplishable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's better to make small goals that are accomplishable because then you'll feel good about yourself
That's true.
and
Yeah.
you'll build that confidence.
Yeah.
So for people who are looking to go through fitness and try to succeed, is set small goals that you can accomplish.
Set small goals.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how small they are, as long as you can get it.
Yeah, and definitely realistic goals.
Yeah,
Don't be
and
like small goal.
the
How to make
biggest-
$1,000 in a day.
the biggest key is to build your confidence.
That is absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people are very, very like, just like when you see people,
Self-conscious, right?
like
yeah.
new people, and like encourage others too. Like I started this cut and I opened it up to people if they want to join me, and I've had like 8 to 10 people want to do it with me. So it's
That's
just
what's
like,
up.
and I posted that it's like it's not a competition; it's for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I know there's a lot of people that go to the gym, and you can tell they're new there. So like everybody feels intimidated.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Yeah, I've actually had people say that too. Like they will come to the gym. Like, I just feel intimidated going on the first. Like on our gym.
Yeah.
I just feel intimidated going to like the weight section because it's like everyone's bigger. Like they're lifting heavy weights, and here I am like doing 10 pounds. Like dude, who cares? Just go in there, just bang out as much as you can.
Exactly.
Like nobody's watching you. They're probably watching themselves in the mirror.
And like people are like,
Oh, that was
people are like, it's a jungle,
Yeah,
Everybody's
for
like
sure, yeah,
cutthroat.
this-
So it's just like everybody. If you think about it, everybody's in their own world. when they're
Yeah,
in the
dude.
gym,
Nobody
so-
cares. Like just do your own thing. Don't like feel that way. But it's easier said than done though for some
Yeah, it
people.
is,
It's the mental game is really tough.
That is.
I think mental is a lot challenging than the physical itself. Because physically anyone can do it, but the mental part is what actually
Yeah.
takes someone to get there.
like you said, you are your own enemy.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
dude,
your own
for
enemy.
sure.
so-
Yeah, you're challenging yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, you heard it first from Alex E here. Set small goals. That's a very important thing to be successful in fitness. And
Yeah.
thanks for watching episode 4 of Bending Barbells Talk Show. Stay tuned for next episode. Yee.